godfather of Harlem.
Kobe Johnson.
Mickey Campanella.
Now, this is the best role I've gotten since Stacked.
You know, Joe, go fuck yourself.
And then it turns out the director's name, Lily Maria. She was an ER cast member on the show ER. It was the nicest group of people I've ever worked with.
Taking off fucking jobs!
God damn it.
And I'm sitting across from Forrest Whitaker. Forrest fucking Whitaker.
Don't compare your ancestors to mine. Yours weren't slaves.
No.
And she comes up to us and she goes, okay, so this scene is like, you guys are at odds, there's a conflict, and you're fighting. And I go, well, I think he's gonna win. And he goes, why do you say that? And I go, I don't know, the Oscar? And then he smiles and he laughs.
But for centuries, my ancestors were repeatedly invaded, killed, raped, brutalized.
In one take, he smiled, but he didn't smile in the second take. So I said, he didn't smile in that take. And he said, should I smile? And then I said, scared the shit out of me. So then he smiled in the third take, and that's the one they used.
Guess it won't be unionizing.
I had to drive one of those old cars, and they were like, do you want to just test it? I was like, no, it should be fine. And I got in there, and I just tapped the gas, and went, I almost crashed into another old car. I swerved out of the way, almost ran over the AD. So then we have the big scene outside, and I'm smiling. So Eric Harvey is on the show, who I love from Boardwalk Empire. And he couldn't stop laughing. He was like, you showed up on that scene, and like you were smiling like it was a day at the beach. And I'm like, I know, I wanted to be like, fuck you, like, hey, I wanted to be like, upset Forrest's character more. So I remember, like, we're standing, Forrest is here and I'm here, and we're talking, and they go, okay, ready? And now the cameras are turning on. So I just get in the character, let's go. And he looks at me, he goes, so now my acting has just affected his acting. You know how fucking awesome that is?
What's all this about?
Can't you read the signs?
Yeah, I can read the fucking signs.
I said to him, hey, I was done. I said, I wanted to thank you. He goes, oh, you were terrific. You were terrific. And then I said, thank you, but listen, I've worked with a lot of big people. But to look in your eyes and act with you, that's something I'll never forget. And I almost cried. It looked like he almost cried. And then we shook hands, and I got the fuck out of there. Night Court.
I was just in the building when I ran into your friend, but she screamed, I'm not here, and ran.
The fun thing about Night Court is I got to talk to John Larroquette.
Arnold! Yo, so-and-so.
And then I got to ask him about stripes. You know when he trips over the pipe and he goes, have that removed.
On this side. Right on this side. Get it right on in there.
Have that removed.
I said, was that an ad-lib? And he goes, yeah. And there was another ad-lib too, in the shower scene. And I go, oh, I wish I was a loofah. He goes, yeah. He goes, Ivan Reitman said, what's a loofah? And he said, Ivan, just trust me, put it in.
Actually, I just learned the apartment's no longer available.
You just learned that?
Yeah, just now. I'm gonna go.
Melissa Rauch actually emailed my manager after the show was done. She said, I wanted to reach out as I had the pleasure of working with Brian on Night Court this past week, and just had to say what a fantastic job he did. He is beyond hilarious, nailed every moment, and is a wonderful human on top of that. In 30 years of a career, I've never, ever, ever had a celebrity write to my manager and say these things. Quite possibly the nicest person in Hollywood. scream boat.
You're gonna want to get cozy at the dock. Coast Guard says that all harbor traffic is suspended until this fog lifts. We're canceling ferry services for the next few hours.
No. Not tonight. This is my 5th night of mandatory overtime on the oldest rust bucket on the fucking fleet. I'm tired.
I don't feel well. I gotta take a shit. Nothing's coming out. I want to go home.
I did Screamboat for one reason. I need money. But I really like the director, Stephen Lamorte. Or is it Lamorte? I don't know. I never asked.
This fucking guy.
So it's 4 a.m. We're on the ferry that Colin Jost and Pete Davidson own. I didn't know that. And he goes, okay. So the mouse is on your back. It's going to cut your throat and blood's going to go everywhere. I said, is it going to go in my eyes? And they say, no. It went right in my eyes. I didn't know where I was going. I slipped. You could almost see me slip and fall in the movie and hit my head on some fucking metal equipment. But the makeup lady got sick from something. It's 4 a.m, so she left. This is a non-functioning ship. There's no running water. So I said to the staff, is there a plan for cleanup? And he goes, of course. There was no plan. I was covered in blood, and they wiped my eyes with paper towels, and they go, okay, bye-bye. I was like, what? Bye-bye. I'm not leaving. Clean me. I'm covered in blood. What if I got pulled over on the way home? I'd be put in prison. I had to stop at 7-Eleven on the way home for cigarettes. Can you imagine me walking in covered in blood? Can I have a pack of Parliaments? Sure. Stacked.
Do you know what goes on in public schools? There's drugs, there's violence, and apparently everyone's running around having sex. Wow, really is different than our junior high. High school, college, now.
Now this was the best job I ever had, and everybody dismissed it because Pam Anderson was the lead. But nobody realized it was the same writer from Modern Family and from Just Shoot Me.
Come on, you don't know that he's gonna want to sleep with you.
Yes, I do. Every time you go on a date at a guy's house and he cooks you dinner, it always ends in sex.
I'm making lasagna Friday.
Pam and I got along very well. Pam was a sweetheart. I remember Pam said to me, who's Ollie G? And I said, why? Because Ollie G was the hottest thing right now. She goes, he wants me to be in his movie. I go, do it. So I'm the reason she was in Borat.
I ran out like that because I just found you in bed with 2 women. Where am I? I'm at a gun shop, and I'm pretty sure if I flash the clerk, he'll waive the 3-day waiting period.
Hi. Can I help you?
Yeah, I need a book on relationships.
Sure, but we have a 3-day waiting period.
And after the episode finished, I laid on the ground in front of the crowd. Came out for the curtain call, and I was like, oh. I just laid on the ground. And Pam, next time, Pam's on top of me. Pam Anderson was on top of me, on the floor. The crowd was going crazy.
If you want to be with Nikki,
No. I'd rather be with you. Although, there's a way that the 3 of us could...
It was tremendous fun. I just didn't look at her sexually. The only way to do a job like that is to not look at her sexually. So I looked at her as the sweet person she was. She was very, very sweet and giving. She did the Jimmy Kimmel show. And I said, oh, I live down the street. She was like, oh, you should come. So I show up. And you know how they take those pictures? Like, coming up, Pamela Anderson, and they show a picture of her. She kisses me in the picture. And they go, okay, now we just need one of you. She goes, no, use that one.
I love you.
What did you say?
I love you, Stuart.
Oh my God, I love you too. Yeah. You don't know how long I waited for you to say those words to me. I love you too. I love you so much.
Stuart! May I have a word?
Now, Harold, big moment here.
Stuart!
Carmen Electra did the episode that she had to come on to my character. But in rehearsal, she put her ass on my dick and moved it in circles. And my penis got hard. And she kept going in circles. I was like, this is a real professional here. And they said, maybe you should tone it down. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And I said, come on, I had to do the joke. Oh, come on, it was perfect.
I'm gonna take off your handcuffs, and we're gonna do it all over again.
The LA Times, after the pilot, called me an actual sitcom find.
Do you think Cat will be able to talk some sense into that moron?
What?
I said, do you think Cat will be able to fix this?
What? I can't hear a word you're saying.
I would cut off my own foot to see you naked.
I remember when we shot the pilot, I went backstage to see my manager, and there was one of the head writers sitting with Sarah Jessica Parker, who I fucking love. And I walked in and said, "Oh my God, I just watched you last night on State and Main." And she goes, "You're terrific. You're just terrific." And then the writer came up to me later on and he said, "You know, Sarah said, the show's about the brother. Make the show about the brother." Which was me, but they didn't do that, but I wish they had.
The way we made love, every nerve on fire, our bodies fitting together like an oily jigsaw puzzle. You want that, don't you?
I do want that.
I got the part. It was me, David Foley, French Stewart. And it was the three of us going in for this test. And I went in and nobody laughed. The head of Fox is in there, all the heads of Fox, nobody laughed. The French Stewart went in and nobody laughed. Then they came back out and they said, "Brian, can you come back in?" So I went back in, nobody laughed, and I said, "Guys, come on. This is my life. Fucking laugh. Laugh!" And I pretended to grab the head of Fox and choke her. Like, laugh, laugh. And I got the part.
Could it be magic? You're worse than about as bad as scientists.
What? It's a perfectly valid example of density.
No, you're a perfectly valid example of density.
Christopher Lloyd had never seen one episode of Taxi. So we bought him Taxi on DVD.
I fear I may have offended you yesterday. I'd like to apologize.
Oh, I appreciate that, Harold. You did kind of hurt my feelings.
Well, you shouldn't listen to me. I'm no judge, that sort of thing, never have been. Back at NASA, when we were misguidedly training chimps for a space flight, there was this one named Captain Bobo. We never thought he would find a mate. I mean, it practically made you sick to look at him. Lab assistants had to use mirrors to feed him.
Where are you going with this, Harold?
And I remember we were sitting, and I said, "You did something that pissed me off." He goes, "What?" He goes, What did I do?" I said, "Listen, I didn't want to bring it up to you, but you really upset me." He goes, What did I do? Tell me." "When you killed the cartoon shoe in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you put in the dip and killed it. Why'd you do that? It was a squeaky little shoe. It wasn't going to hurt your cable car empire. You didn't even have any hands." And Christopher Lloyd laughed and he goes, I'm really sorry."
Oh my God!
Crap.
I remember there was a scene involving fire, and although there were firemen on set to make sure everything went fine, but they were too busy flirting with Pamela Anderson's assistants. So during the fire scene, the pyrotechnic guy sets himself on fire. And me and Ilan Gold are like, "Is anybody going to put him out?" So Ilan's holding a fire extinguisher in the scene. We don't even know if it works. It's a prop. And I said, "Put him out!" And so me and Ilan put the guy out. So we saved the guy's life in front of a whole audience. And they were like, "Okay, keep going." Mad Men.
Hello. Are you Mr. Polito?
I am.
The table read, and Matthew Weiner got up and locked the door and said, "Nobody can talk about this." So we were sworn to secrecy for a year. I couldn't even tell people I did it. I think I told my mom and dad. That was it.
Thanks again. I mean it.
My scene was with Jared Harris, Richard Harris' son. In the scene, I say, "You're a real gentleman."
You're a real gentleman.
But I said, "You're you're a real gentleman. And the script supervisor came up to me and she said, the line is, you're a real gentleman, not you're a. So I look at Jared Harris, I go, they're sticklers here, aren't they? He goes, oh, you have no idea.
This is the way we do things.
So I was like, well, how do I put my stamp on this? I like to, if you bring something of your own to each thing you do, it's much more fun. It makes your performance better. So I was like, well, how do I do anything if I can't add words? I said, well, I can add something physical. So in the scene, I'm looking through my wallet.
Hold on. Just hold on a second.
So Jared Harris's character stole a picture of my girlfriend from my wallet. Now he's worried that I'm gonna notice it's missing.
Everything's there?
I was like, well, what if I stop? What if I stop and just stare at him? I go, the money's all here. And then he releases. And the director runs up, she goes, I love it. Do it longer, make him sweat. So I got to add something to Mad Men. Harry's Law.
This is all privileged, right?
All your secrets are safe, including your little thing for women's shoes.
Now my scene is with Kathy Bates. I'm working with an Oscar winner, and it's my birthday. So halfway through the scene, I say, well, it's rehearsal, they're switching the cameras. I lean forward and say, hey, today's my birthday. She goes, happy birthday. No. Thank you, but I just want you to know there's no greater birthday present I can ask for than acting with you. So she was so touched, and we got along very well.
I can't submit some sort of a blind affidavit or...
I'm afraid not.
And at the end of the scene, she goes, happy secret birthday. Nice present.
Well, you got the last word in. That's all that really matters.
Girl meets world.
Our bodies are friends. Yikes.
And I remember I had to deliver a sexual speech. I had to look around the room. I was like, listen, treat yourselves well. Treat your bodies well. And when it comes time to make more babies, way down the line, please.
Someday, way down the line, please.
Every time I said please, I looked at Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why. That's where my head landed. But after the third time, she said, why is he looking at me when he says that? And I was like, it's not personal. It's not that you're going to be a whore. You're just going to get way more opportunities to have sex than the rest of these fucking people.
Because if I fail you, I gotta meet your parents. I don't want to meet your parents. I don't want to meet you.
During the scene, I'm talking to Sabrina Carpenter and a bunch of kids.
How you take care of it, how you treat it, how you nourish it, what becomes of it. It's completely up to you. Especially when it seems like nothing else is.
Boy, do you have the right teacher here.
So during rehearsal, I'm talking to the kids and Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm delivering this dramatic speech, and they're giggling. So I turn around, and Ben Savage is behind me, and he goes. So I realize he's making fun of me while I'm acting during rehearsal, which is ridiculous. I've never seen anything so unprofessional. He's hopping around like a bunny. He's doing bunny ears. He's making fun of me for being fat while I'm acting. I'm a guest. And he's mocking me during my rehearsal. So he does that again. He does it again. The next day I come back, he does it again. And he does it again. The next day I come back, he does it again. So the director says to him, hey, you gotta let him rehearse the scene. The network run-throughs in 5 minutes. He's gotta rehearse the scene. And so Ben Savage doesn't yell at the director. It comes up to me in front of all the kids. He goes, you wanna get fired? You wanna get fucking fired? And I know what he's doing. He's trying to get me to flip out so that I can get fired. And I guess this is because he feels threatened. I don't know. So I said, I don't know what's happening. I'm just here to do a job. I leave tomorrow. I just want to do my job. So then a 14-year-old girl comes up to me and goes, I don't know why he did that. You're really good. I was like, a 14-year-old girl was smarter than he is. The wardrobe woman comes to my dressing room and goes, he tried to fire me last week. So I stopped Michael Jacobs, who is the executive producer. He's the one who discovered Ben Savage for the original Boy Meets World. And I say, hey, can I talk to you? He's like, sure. I was like, so Ben seems really upset. He just started yelling and screaming at me during rehearsal in front of the kids. He goes, sounds like a guy who's mad that you're getting laughs. And then he leaned in and he went, keep getting laughs. And he walked away.
Thank you.
Anytime, sunshine.
Men of a certain age.
This is not good. I don't even see an application for a permit.
First of all, I think I got the part because when people audition for these city workers, they forget the one thing, the most important thing. The city workers are tired and angry and hate their jobs.
We're not going to do any more work.
I wish I could help you, but it's out of my hands. And any changes to the condition of your house will be considered work and then subject to more fines.
Yeah,
Believe me, I'm just trying to save you from even bigger headaches. 48.
So I get the part, but I remember when I walked in, Michael Royce was the producer, and I look over and there's David Paymer. And I go, holy shit. And I start laughing. It was such a regular reaction. I love David Paymer. I remember talking to him. I was like, I was watching The In-Laws last night.
And they're supposed to guess what all that crap is worth? I mean, is that the principle?
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
He goes, oh, you know, that was Marlon Brando's favorite movie? Like, I just love shit like that.
Was this a small job that maybe he figured he didn't need a permit for and then it turned into a big job?
So Andre Barra's character is trying to get me to do something. And he brings me a bottle of water.
Me again. I noticed you don't get a lot of chances to get up from that desk. I thought you might get thirsty.
Sir, I told you I've done everything I could possibly do.
Well, I know you have, and I appreciate it. The thing is, I can see you're a clever guy, and I thought between the two of us, we could maybe come up with another solution, something that makes sense.
And he puts it in front of me. And I go, I told you so, there's nothing I can do for you. I give him the water back. He goes, I know. But I feel like if we put our heads together, and he puts the water back in front of me. So I go, fine. So I push the bottle over to him, which wasn't in the script. So now he's doing a line. And as he's doing the line, I notice him smiling a little bit underneath his acting. And I realize he's pushing the water bottle slowly back over to me. So he's smiling, and now I'm smiling underneath my acting. And he's looking right at my eyes like, this is funny. Just to make me laugh. And so I go, yeah. So then as I'm doing my line, I take a pencil, and I just start pushing the water bottle over to him again. None of this is on camera, I don't think. But he starts smiling too, because now we're just fucking with each other. It was so much fun. Crash and Bernstein.
One slice with anchovy and garlic. It's a good call. In your case, I actually make your breath smell better.
Tim Lugasi is a fantastic puppeteer. Really funny guy. And I got to argue with him.
Hey, what can I get for you jerks?
I will end you!
And the best, it was their last episode. Rizwan Manji, who was the real estate guy from Schitt's Creek, he's in the episode. And we became friends. He plays a doctor, and he tells me that my test results don't look good.
I got your test results back. They do not look good.
That's not an insult, that's just bad news. Why are you smiling?
Because I love pizza.
And Tim Lugasi has the puppet laughs. And he tells the puppet that his results don't look good either. And the puppet laughs.
I like you, Doctor. This could be the start of a long friendship.
Or a short one. I got your test results too.
And so they said, well, it'd be really funny. This is the last shot of the show. why don't we have the puppet die just to make the crew laugh? Like, they weren't going to use it. So while the puppet's laughing, he goes, ah, ba, 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 I'm going to die, ba, ba, ba. He goes, and he just dies. Like his jaw goes, and he falls over and dies. And the crew broke out laughing. It was tremendous fun to watch. The X's. I had one line in the X's. David Allen Bache from Three Sisters threw me a bone. They needed a bartender to say a line, and I was like, I could say a line. So it was fun. I got to work with Wayne Knight, and I said to him, I was like, you have the best recurring character in TV history.
He was ticked off about the keys. Yeah, that's right, about the keys.
He goes, yeah. I go, they didn't pay you enough? He goes, nah. So he was not happy. For the amount of comedy he added to the show, they could have treated him better.
Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you gotta get it out, but the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. And then the barcode reader breaks, and it's Publishers Clearinghouse. All right.
Also, Leah Remini was a recurring character on that show, and she came into David Allen Bache's dressing room, and David said, this is my friend Brian. And I looked at her and I said, I am in love with you. I've always been in love with you. I'd love to take you to dinner. And she goes, oh. I go, but you have to pay. She goes, well, you had me until that. Platonically incorrect. So now I get this pilot. It's directed by Tom Shadyac. Tom Shadyac did Ace Ventura, The Nutty Professor. This is a major guy.
Darlene, you gotta leave that earpiece in.
I hate it. It feels like I have tongue in my ear.
Well, I need to be able to talk to you during the show so you don't say things like, pick up this spreader honor thing.
Okay, so I forgot the name for paintbrush. He called the circle saw thingy a circle saw.
Because that's what it's called.
So I auditioned and they wanted me, but ABC Studios, the head of comedy, this woman said she didn't think I was attractive enough. Now she would be right, but back then, no. So they didn't hire me. So I had a 2-week option, which means they had 2 weeks to find somebody else. Tom Shadyac wanted me, so he ran fake auditions so that they'd have to hire me. Well, couldn't find anybody. Brian's our guy.
Oh, what the hell? You know what doesn't go with a tuxedo, Bob? A unibrow.
I like my unibrow. It's cheaper than a visor.
Guys, I was trying to nap.
You better cover your eyebrows because he's collecting.
You need 2 eyebrows, Bob. You're not a cyclops. Come.
I already let you put a weed whacker to my ear, and I feel like I've been listening to the ocean ever since.
3 plucks, Cookie. Just give me 3 plucks.
Okay, fine. If it'll make you happy, I'll lay down and you get 2 plucks.
4 plucks.
3.
4 plucks.
Fine, 4 plucks.
But I'll never forget that. So apparently when I came out in for the test, Tom Shadyac took my 8x10 and wrote down on it and handed it back to his producer. If they don't hire this guy, they're stupid.
Now lie down, because Mama's going to give you a massage.
They let me ad lib.
Oh.
I ad libbed every one of these lines in this scene.
Sorry about before. Sometimes I just have trouble trusting people, you know? Is that a new lotion? Your nails are sharp.
One scene where she goes, you have so much ear hair you can't even hear me.
Bob, you have a forest growing out of your ear. What? Ear hair, Bob. See, it's so thick you can't even hear me.
So I ad libbed.
Well, I wish I had eye hair.
And the crew was like, hey! You know what I mean? And there was one scene where I'm a TV producer and Tom Everett Scott and AJ Lang are arguing. And I go, well, this is going well. So I was like, oh, we add something here. I said, can we get color bars on this TV? He said, sure.
Oops, bent the nail.
Well, what do you know? Males, like friends, sometimes let you down.
Maybe it'll straighten out if you shame it and make it cry.
I'm sorry. Psycho, say what? Well, this is going well. Let's see what else is on. Fantastic.
And so I left the room, and the head of ABC Comedy stood up and said, well, I admit it, I was wrong about Brian Scolaro. How awesome is that? Sullivan and Son.
Oh my God, is this stuff drinkable?
Put that down, Doug.
Only supposed to have one scene, and that was it. And then TBS liked me, so they made them hire me again. And I was like, oh, okay. So if there was a table read on Tuesday and I wasn't in it, I'd get a call Tuesday night saying, you got to report to work tomorrow morning. They're adding you to the script.
Look, Carol, here are the symptoms. Decide for yourself if you're going through menopause. Hot flashes, night sweats, fatigue, forgetfulness, bloating, breast tenderness.
Oh my God, I've got menopause.
So as good as that sounds, I knew that would upset people. They're basically being told, hey, we like you, we will like him more.
You still don't get the whole forgetfulness thing, do you, kid? Doug, what's your wife's name? The tip of my tongue, I swear.
Like there's a line where the girl doesn't show up, and they go, she'll be back, she tasted these lips. But I decided it would be funny if I had pretzels in my mouth. So I go, she'll be back, she tasted these lips, and pretzels are flying out. You got a big laugh. They cut it.
But how do I stop overeating?
Simple. Get naked, stand in front of a mirror, watch yourself eat.
That's how I eat anyway.
Scolaro is and could be one of the funniest sketch comedy improv actors dudes of all time. One of the most underrated. One of the funniest could come in and just fucking ring it 100%. Yeah.
At the rap party of season 1, I'm getting drunk with Brian Doyle Murray.
What'd you write in your profile?
I just said I was a guy without much going for him, hangs out at a bar, and when life knocks me down, I stay down.
You are exactly my type.
What makes
Brian Doyle Murray was National Lampoon Radio, Saturday Night Live, wrote Caddyshack, Second City cast member who got his brother in. Like he knew, he was the John Adams of American comedy.
So, Doug, you come here often?
Yeah, every night, Hank.
Me too. I have chills right now. Because moves have moves. So, Doug, would you be interested in seeing each other outside the bar?
And I'm sitting here getting drunk with him. And I'll never forget this. He goes, you know, Brian, you're one of the best I've ever seen. I go, what? He goes, you're one of the best I've ever seen. Look, you've worked with everybody. You, your brother, Belushi, Gil Rather, fucking Chevy Chase. He goes, no matter what everyone else is doing, you stop it and you make it your own pace. You make it your own delivery. And it works every time. You're one of the best I've ever seen. So I got that. The Brothers Solomon.
Hi, delivery for John Solomon.
He's not here right now.
Sign here.
And then I find out that Bob Odenkirk is the director. And Bob Odenkirk wants me because he liked the way I did that. But the studio said, no, we want like a Saturday Night Live cameo. He goes, no, I want him. So I hear the story, I get the part, I show up, and they go, hey, we're going to cut your scene. They go, yeah, I figured. You don't need to see the medical equipment being delivered. So I was like, yeah, they do me a favor. Can you tell Bob that I know he fought for me and tell him thank you? So I left, and I get home, and there's a message on my answering machine saying, Bob wants you to come back. So now I get in my car and I drive all the way back, and I get in my wardrobe and I go right to the set, and Bob Odenkirk goes, we're gonna make it one scene. Can you just do it fast? In my head, I'm like, how the fuck can I seem disinterested and lazy if I'm doing it fast. Bring it on in.
All right, this thing here is a dialysis machine. That's for the kidneys. These are defibrillator paddles. In case the EKG shows a flat line, just rub them together, put them on the chest, and heart should get going again. There's more you should know about that. You should probably take a class or something. That's coagulants and anticoagulants. There's a blue thing.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
I saw on TV. It's horrible. Is he gonna be all right?
So my audition was, I'm hiring a kid to work on my construction site, and my last line is, be here bright and early.
So you bright and early.
And I added, and I like cheese Danish. And I walked out. So I think I got the part because of that. But then when I got there, they didn't want me to act at all. They just said, just say it fast. Say everything fast.
Listen, the kid said he was only in town for a few months trying to make money for art school. I was just trying to help out.
We're not here to check for work fees.
Castle. The thing I remember about Castle is I had read for it like 8 times. Never got it. So every time I got an audition for them, I was like, I'm not going to give it to them. Then one day they did.
I have anger issues.
And a gift for murderous creativity. Threatening to nail Alan to the ceiling by his feet and pinata the hell out of his face with a fungo bat.
It's all just talk.
The cool thing was, I got to act with Jonathan Silverman, who I didn't even know was in it. I'm like fucking Weekend at Bernie's.
One by one, and I'm gonna light you on fire. Now, first, I'm gonna paralyze you with a claw hammer, and then cover you with ants. You son of a bitch!
And it goes on and on like that for a while.
The thing I remember is that they wanted me to hide my anger.
Sometimes I just think about getting a blender and a trowel. Kidding.
Well, you better hope your alibi holds up.
I felt like I'd seen that delivery before, so I did it like this. Sometimes I want to get a bat, and I just want to beat her, and I am so sorry, I am sorry. And the director ran in and goes, I love it, that's the one we're going to use. But they didn't use that one, they used the standard one. I think it's because the editor sits and goes through the script and edits according to the script. And they play their silly music that they're used to, like, boing.
And that pisses off a lot of people.
Alone together.
A little bit of wine, a little bit of sex, a little bit of murder.
First of all, I have a tremendous crush on Esther Povitsky, and she could care less, which is the story of my life.
Listen, I don't want to cause any trouble, but can I get my wife a comp?
There's no comps, and if that's a problem, I will send you right back to where I found you in Craigslist casting. Understood?
Understood. Not a problem.
Great.
But she wrote a part for me. She knew me from the Comedy Store, and she would give parts to other comedians. Like in my episode, Nikki Glazer's in it, and a few other comics. So she gave me a part, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to ad-lib a little bit. Like where the 2 young kids are hitting on each other, I just added the line.
You may. You may all day.
Ooh. So where are you guys from?
So that was good. Wendy's. I did 3 Wendy's commercials. 3. They were the first thing I did.
Let's go have lunch. 10 big bacon classic combo.
I did the second commercial, had Dave Thomas with me, and he's sitting next to me. Dave Thomas is sitting next to me. And they go, when you take a bite of the burger, you can spit it out in the bucket. And he goes, but why would you want to do that? Netflix. When Netflix went from mailing DVDs to streaming, it was my commercial that taught people how to stream.
I love you guys. I mean, just, the whole heist thing, just putting jewels in teddy bears. This guy's wearing a wire the whole time, right? Look, he's wearing a wire. All right, let's do this, all right, before my wife changes her mind. Go.
Your favorite? And it ran for 3 years. Every 2 months I'd go downstairs and there'd be a check for $7,500. And I just ad-libbed. I was like, the movie is great. You get killed horribly. You get killed horribly.
No sequel for that guy.
The writer of the commercial said, I'm going to hire you for everything I do from now on. And of course, he never worked again. Snapple.
Dave, I think they want everyone to try some.
Dave, this is bordering on inconsiderate.
Yep, tastes just like us.
Oh, come on.
See, this is why you weren't my best man, Dave.
It's really good. Mangoes are great. Snapple mango tea tastes just like them.
So they had to make a face mold. So they cover you in plaster with a little straw you can breathe. If you throw up, you die. And they said some people can't handle it. Let us know by like raising your finger up. So after about 20 minutes, I started to panic. And they told me, yeah, Meatloaf panicked after 10 minutes. And he said, I kept thinking about me being buried alive. And they're like, well, why'd you think about that?